8:04. Welcome to Island Tea. It's Tuesday, April 11. Win FM 98.9. Good morning to you. Hope everyone had a great Easter weekend. AZ, did you?
Yes, my Easter weekend was wonderful. Very packed Jamster. I must say that the Easter weekend was a lovely one. I see a lot of persons going to the beach. I see that a lot of persons went to the Black Sam Bangalang with Shensia and what his name? Massacre, yes. I saw the videos, I saw the persons cheering, and I saw the pictures circulating, so I know persons had an excellent time. How did you spend your Easter weekend, Jamster?
I stayed home mostly. And did a lot of sleeping.
Oh, well, for me, I went to church in Old Road, the Ebenezer Methodist Church. We had a wonderful service. The Reverend Hunkins was the one who led the service. We had the drum set. You know, Easter is always a wonderful experience.
Which church is this?
The Old Road Ebenezer Methodist Church.
The Old Ebenezer Methodist
Yes.
Church.
A wonderful church, Jam. So perhaps one day, being Methodist yourself, you could do a visit, you know? You could visit the Methodist Church in Old Road. I'm extending the invitation to you, Jamster, to visit. In addition to that, Monday was very packed. I'm a member of the People's Action Movement, Jamster. I'm the chairman for the constituency number 4 and the deputy chair for the party. And yesterday we had a very fun-filled event.
You're a chair?
Chairman, yes, our chair,
right,
whichever one.
Chairman. I prefer chairman.
The position, yes. And so we had a very fun fill. We went on the truck and we gave out goodie bags. We had an Easter bunny and everything, and the children were so excited. Oh my God, we packed the bags in the morning. So I think I'm running on E right now. I'm running on empty. I'm hoping to get through the day. Trust me, because this Easter weekend has been lit for me. I know it has been lit for other persons. However they spend their Easter weekend, I know the St. Nevis Labour Party, they had their Sol Rojo party yesterday as well. I saw the pictures and everything. I saw the PLP had the breakfast. So all the political
what's
parties.
That old Sol Rojo? Is it like Spanish speaking outreach or something?
I have no idea. Because from what I gather, is just a party.
Because based on my rusty Spanish, that would be Red Sun.
Yeah. Oh, Red Sun. Oh.
Yeah,
Well, we know that the yellow sun shines brightest.
Okay.
Just a bit of humor there. But we acknowledge all of the parties. They had the activities over the Easter weekend. And so it has been a fulfilled weekend. Of course, I know my co-host, Candisie Franklin.
I would say yellow dress.
She has on a bright yellow dress this morning. I must say that I love her color. She is lighting up the room.
Good morning. I thought I'd bring some Easter, the remnants of what I have left. My voice is almost gone.
I know you went to Shensia. Tell me about it.
How was that?
I know.
So my Easter weekend was a blast. So probably lost my voice since Friday.
Sound the same to me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm feeling it though. So Friday was supposed to be restful. It wasn't. I worked. And then it was my sister's birthday.
Another April born.
Yes,
wonderful.
I know, right? We're surrounded. And then Saturday I worked. And then I went to Shensia. Well, I had a blast. Like, I don't know about anybody else. Because I was,
well attended?
Right. It was fairly attended. I think people are accustomed to going to these things really late. So at midnight, when she was slated to come on, based on what I found out, because, I made friends with the promoters from when they were here.
I saw her talking to them jams outside in the corridor.
Actually, I was like, why weren't you guys in time for our segment?
Right? I told you what happened.
Right,
Yes,
right.
yes.
That was the day when we had hail and thunderstorm and
my
everything.
God.
So
That was
it was
a
kind
really
of a challenge for them.
I'm sure was a blessing on that day.
Right?
Yes.
So it was a little bit crazy. But so she came on maybe 12:30. And I went right up to the front, like right there.
You have videos?
So you think they made back their money, right?
Wow. I'm hoping they did. So I guess for me, I kind of know all of Shensia's songs, like shamefully plug here.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I know. Even to the one that she dropped like 3 days before.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So I was all hyped. But they gave her like a live band to perform with, and I think that's what killed it. Like I could see from her body language, like at certain points in time, she would stop, she would glare at them, and then she would continue singing because they kept dropping the beat and they were like kind of off, and I'm like, but
How
they
was
had
her-
a sound check.
How was her performance despite of that?
I think she really tried. She was decent. I would give her a decent because I've seen her before. Like I saw her in Feb in Trinidad, right? So I think like between the struggle of this whole live band drama, which I think she's performed with a live band before.
Yes.
And then I heard like she didn't want to come on because it wasn't full as yet. She was like, I want a crowd like type of thing. I mean, you really can't blame her for that. But she was good. I think the crowd responded more to Massacre, but then he was here for Music Festival. So for those of us who didn't really know his songs, present company included, it was a better response because like we had enough time to learn the songs.
He was here 2019, right? Was it
No, he
2019?
was here last Music Festival.
Oh, last year. We had one last year?
We had a music festival
Yes,
last
sir.
year,
Yeah,
Jam
yeah,
Store.
yeah. No,
With
it's-
popcorn, berries,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we had it was very heated in the political arena last year, so maybe that's
what
why.
threw him off.
Yeah.
But Massacre was pretty decent. The event of itself was nicely laid out. Parking was easy, entrance was easy. I was in the VIP. It was nice. Decent setup. I think for like based on the fact that I've done events before and I've attended events before, I think next year.
And you organize events as well. You're an event
Yes,
planner.
sir. I think they needed a little bit more on the execution side.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's because the promoters weren't able to be here like from the jump. But based on what I've known of Black Sun, I really thought that it would have been like a bigger turnout because they had like a 2-year hiatus, right? So good job, guys. But I think there's a little bit room for improvement. So that was Saturday. Sunday I supposedly rested. I didn't. And then yesterday, my company, Events Extraordinaire, sponsored the Guyanese Association in
Awesome.
St. Kitts Easter Fun Day. So we had up a Events Extraordinaire tent, and I gave out kites to some of the kids because we did races. We did like egg and spoon race and sack race, and so I gave out kites to that. And then, of course, I still had other work to do because I helped organize it. So I'm kind of bushed.
I even understand.
Exhausted.
Wonderful.
So I figured I'd put on this yellow today to kind of
Yeah.
brighten up everybody's day, including mine.
Yeah. I mean, I was just telling Jamster I'm running on empty, and when you came with this bright yellow, it just
It helped.
It helped me. It
Mission
just boosts
accomplished.
my energy levels.
Yeah, if I can help just one.
Yes.
I wanted to say something about the Shensia. As someone who actually studied music production
Yeah.
and live sound and stuff, I've always said to myself that dancehall is one of the few genres where a live band has to be done right for it to sound sound good. And not to get too technical, but like I've always felt like to use a live band for dancehall, it
It's
should
a
be
no-no.
no. Well, what I was gonna say is it should be a setup where all the sounds that were used on the original track. If you're gonna use a live drummer, you should probably use an electronic kit, and all those sounds, those actual sounds from the album, should be keyed to the kit, so that the drummer is using the same
Oh my
sounds.
goodness, something. Because you can tell they were
Yeah.
all,
Jamster,
were
they needed
drumming
you
her.
there,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm
They
thinking.
needed you
But
there.
You
you
needed to
but you
align yourself.
But you see, this is one of my
Uh-huh.
frustrations. I went and I spent all this money studying, and everybody ignores me. We have a music festival, probably flailing right now to get things started.
Talking
I'm
about
here,
the music
and
festival,
nobody
Jamster.
nobody
What about
reaches out.
What about? I've heard
You know,
person talking
Nobody
about
reaches out.
the lineup. I've heard person putting up
You know?
statuses about the lineup in terms of the complete lineup. We know we had the first wave already,
Right.
Yeah.
but persons have been asking about when that person's going to really know what is going to be the complete
Listen.
lineup.
Exactly.
We
I
have
mean,
a
we're
running
in
joke
April,
in my
we're,
office.
we're in April already, We only have May and June, and persons we expect to book their flights based on not only because
Yes.
it's in St. Kitts.
And you can't wait till a month before
Yeah.
to ask people.
Because
to
you know
book,
what those prices going to be like.
Uh-huh. Especially those flying voices, as you said.
The running joke in my office is that it's going to be a tsunami because we've been waiting on this wave for so long. Such a build-up, right? So it's definitely a tsunami, not just a wave.
I know we had hail on Thursday, but a number of persons are saying perhaps snow will fall first.
Yeah, you saw that status, right? Somebody said snow will probably fall first before we get that second wave.
You guys are terrible.
So we're pleading. We're pleading because a lot of persons have been making statuses, and we want persons to feel complete.
Listen, I have worked with music festival, and one of the problems you have is people don't know, and they don't listen, and they don't even know that they don't know.
I was gonna comment on that. I was gonna say, to your point, where you have all this background, and you can be of so much use to them. Unfortunately, in St. Kitts, the problem is who you know. And there's like a select niche that always gets picked for certain things. And unfortunately, sometimes there are persons in there that really don't know. I'm not saying this is the case with Music Festival, but I've seen it happen in a lot of things, especially events.
Yeah, you talk about that too. I feel as though if persons are vocal and they don't support a particular party in St. Kitts and Nevis, if your party that you support is not in government, it's like you're an enemy of the state. You become an enemy of the state. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it is. Hey guys, let's take our first break. It's 8:16. Hey, we're doing pretty good with time. Let's take our first break, and we come back. I want us to talk about the Carifta. I'm doing like him.
Carifta.
I'm doing like him.
Jamster is Carifta. Carifta Jamster.
Can you imagine?
Hey, that was a nice flip, huh?
I know.
No one knows.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Get conscious, get down to business every Wednesday with Conscious Business. Join the Conscious Musical Reasoning with Selector Highest, Strictly Positive and Conscious Music on Conscious Business on WinFM 98.9, winfm.com. Vibes include Business Education Corner, Business Quote of the Day, Agriculture Time, and Mama Love Chat of the Day.
Mama, I don't ever want to see you cry.
Conscious Business is brought to you by Like New Steam Cleaning. You too can get exposure and awareness for your business when you call WinFM's sales department to advertise here. Conscious Business is positive growth.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
It's tool season at Horswood's Building and Nevis Center on St. Kitts and Nevis. Don't miss out on the year's best time to buy tools. Get 25% off selected tools store-wide. Hundreds of tools on sale. Slash by 25%. 25% off on tools for this tool season at Horswood's Building Center on St. Kitts and Nevis. Horswood's Building and Nevis Centers, the Federation's favorite home improvement stores. Some exclusions apply. See stores for details.
And we are back. I was trying to get an instrumental lined up here, but
we had such amazing.
Apparently, the equipment had a long weekend as well.
Yeah, we had an amazing weekend, obviously, and we seen the Carifta games. A lot of Kittitians were excited. It was really good to see our athletes on the world stage.
I got
like that.
goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
I was so proud of them because they're so young, but I feel like they've accomplished so much.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stop looking at it, and I got goosebumps because, as you know, I'm torn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back in Guyana and St. Kitts, and they both had such amazing backstories. the guy from Guyana that won gold, he didn't make it last year. Javan, forgot his last name. And then the girl Tiana, because the Guyanese team had some drama getting there, and she came back, and that was the one that St. Kitts got bronze in actually. So I was like, yeah, I got 2 reps on the podium. Now I'm 9 I don't know any of these young people, right? But my country of birth and my home country, they were both on the podium. Guyana won gold, St. Kitts won bronze. Congrats Deschanel, congrats Tiana. But then my weekend was ruined last night with this whole Carifta nonsense, right? Because I see both my teams are getting attacked. So let me start with the lesser of the two evils, right? The Guyana 4x4 relay team got disqualified after they won the race. After. So they won, they got gold, and then they got disqualified. And then this whole Jalen Bennett thing, and I think they bumped Jayara Claxton down from gold to bronze.
No, actually to 7, the Claxton.
And that's
wasn't it bronze?
That's a Kittitian
Yes,
girl, right?
yeah, she's like a super athlete. She plays cricket,
I'm sorry,
football, everything.
I
was a bit disgusted. I feel like, what's going on with Carifta? Are your rules worse than the Olympics? Like what? And you know, I feel these are young people. Yes, we need to train them. They need to get in tune if they ever want to make it to the Olympics. But I just feel like some of these rules, and maybe it's because I'm not into, you know, the athletics regulation part.
Yes.
But I just feel like some of the rules are very stringent. And I'm really disappointed. I think they let Jalen run over a race. He had to run it by himself because the other countries decided they weren't going to participate.
Oh, gosh. And
so he ran the race by himself. And then even after that, you know, I saw someone's status saying he clocked 21.60 or however you're supposed to say it. And they ended up saying it was 22. So somebody was like, oh, so the clock is off now. And it's just disgusting to me.
There's just a lot of weird irregularities. There was some situation to where the Jamaican team apparently there was somebody. Barbados did an appeal about some race, and Jamaica decided they weren't going to rerun because it had nothing to do with Jamaica really, something to do with Barbados.
Right.
And then at the end now they were saying, well, Jamaica can't run because, but they said the rules say that Jamaica has not been disqualified or anything. So a lot of just a bunch of drama and confusion. We're gonna have to try.
I've never seen such controversial Carifta games.
I want to say congratulations to all the athletes, those who place and in all the games, because just to qualifying
Agreed.
is an accomplishment, and I think people need to understand that. There's some persons from my community that really did well. I know Moy, we call her Moy. I think her proper name is Kishma. Her son got gold, Samuel, in the race for St. Kitts, and looking at her and growing up in that community.
In which?
Hurdles. It was the hurdles. He killed it. Akenya.
Yeah, when you see persons who you grew up with having children who are competing,
I know.
Now you're like, wow, it's like total transformation.
So we didn't do anything in the relays? No.
I can't remember what the results were for the relay, but I definitely remember looking at that Akenya race. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. And he killed it in those hurdles, because I always see hurdles as a hurdle. No pun intended. Yeah. But he totally
literally it's a hurdle.
I know Shazan Laibod, his grandmother, I know very well, his father as well. So to see these persons here, their children and grandchildren on the stage, and to see the excitement of the parents and grandparents, it's really wonderful.
Because I don't know any of them, and I was totally hyped.
And for a long time, I've been saying, God, I wish the Kim thing. I wish we could move beyond Kim and actually have someone else, have other athletes actually doing well.
But he's been coaching them as well. Like when I went up to the stadium when it was inter-school, the high school inter-school, because I was doing some decor up there, and I actually saw him, and I had a quick little chat with him, and he told me that he's coaching. He does a lot of coaching, and most of it is kind of like free, because in order to pay for that type of coaching from world-class athletes, it's real money, but he gives back, because one, he's one of our national heroes, and two, he just loves the sport and he wants to see St. back on the map.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But you think it's only politicians rate being national heroes.
Azard has vowed to change that.
Yeah, that's something that should be changed.
We definitely had a
well.
conversation about it.
We have to recognize other people, and I think Kim Collins, even when you hear about the races, a lot of them make reference
to Kim Collins when they're commentating.
Yeah. And it makes you feel so wonderful to know that we've had an athlete who has touched so many people and have been recognized on the world stage.
Put us on the map.
And actually, what people don't realize, do you all realize that Kim is one of the fastest, is probably the fastest masters ever? No, not probably. He is the fastest. Meaning,
I know you mean based on his age.
Yes. And he actually lowered his PB when he was like 37 or somewhere around there.
Wow.
To 9.92, I think.
I remember that one.
Yeah, we see a lot of the great athletes after a certain time they just say that's it. But we've seen that even after the expected age of retirement, Kim Collins still pushing through.
In fact, I think Kim has a lot to do with a lot of runners running longer. Justin Gatlin for one.
Yep.
Chirandi Martina he's from Suriname, but he represents the Netherlands. He's still running. He ran on the weekend, and he's like 38. Yeah, and
what is the regular cut-off age? Because I feel like 38 is so young.
There's no cut-off age, really. well, for sprinting, it takes longer. It takes longer for the body to recover.
I'm gonna get you.
It takes longer for it's not old, but for sprinting it's just like it's like 38 is young. You
are as young as you feel. Let's go with that. You're as young as you feel.
Good comeback.
I mean, it says a lot that Kim was actually able to lower his PB at age 37. That's crazy.
I have known Kim like even before he even got that big and accomplished, and I'm still in awe every time I see him. Like, this is the dude that actually killed this. This is Kim.
Yeah.
But I've known him way before he was Kim Collins, like world-class athlete. So it's always like.
Can I put a plug here?
Let's hear.
So Kim Collins and his wife Paula, they go to the gym that I go to. So
my goodness! This is his that's close, right?
Which gym do you go to?
Royal St. Kitts. So when Candy's talking about her years back, I'm
Frigate Bay?
Frigate Bay, yeah.
Wait. As in
Jacktown.
Okay.
Jacktown.
Yeah, I wanted to
has
be
a
sure.
nice little gym there.
I've always thought it kind of lazy that the two hotels just hold on to the Royal St. Kitts thing.
Everybody wants to be royal.
It's very lazy. I mean, can't they find another name? Because you see, I had to ask you to see which one it was.
Is it though, or is it specifically because of marketing? Because if you're going to look for something and you're overseas, as soon as you see the name Royal or Queen or Imperial, you're drawn to it because you're like, well, must be high standards because they have the name at least. Well, maybe it's a marketing gimmick.
You could have said Liamiga Lux Resort or something.
Yeah, but then how many persons know the word Liamiga? We're still in the process of getting it popular.
So that's where the marketing.
Remember, most people know St. Kitts and Nevis.
You guys want to take a call?
They definitely know Royal.
Sure, let them tell us how I was just how the Easter was.
I was hoping it was somebody from SK and Athletics to tell us about all this confusion.
Oh, we could invite them in.
We definitely will.
Yes,
I'm gonna work on that today. Okay, let's go back to the phones. Island T, go right ahead.
Please for some.
Come right ahead. I seem to be the only person with tea.
Hey, good morning. What's up?
Yeah, good morning. The greats and geniuses in there.
Thank you, Culture.
Thanks. Good morning.
Good morning.
Don't forget me today.
Yes, I have to give you a call. Yes. Thank you so much for the reminder. Thank you.
I will remind you.
Yes.
How was your weekend?
How was your weekend, Culture?
Just before, it was like just before the weekend. Just cool and relax.
Awesome.
And enjoy the results of the Carifta games.
How did we do overall? How did we place? Because I never really got.
It seems as though
I'm gonna have to check.
I'm gonna tell you this. Any athlete won a gold medal, their country did well.
Yes.
Because it is hard to win a bronze, never mind a gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we won 1 gold so far, and silver. And we did
and a bronze, I
better
think.
than well.
At least, yeah. I think.
Yeah, Deschanel got a bronze.
Yeah.
Now, when I travel anywhere, and people hear me talking, they say, "Where are you from?" Jamaica. I say, "No, I am from St. Christopher, a.k.a. St. Kitts, where Kim Collins is from."
Yes.
So, "Oh, that's just a little country." I say, "Yes, here's where I'm from." Jamaica is not the only country in the Caribbean. Now, I want to say this about Kim Collins. The man is just a great. You hear how he won the gold medal for? Not Olympics. He won it for the world champion. So all who been to Olympics and who never been to Olympics, at least the world governs all the other sports, and he won that. And that alone supposed to push St. Kitts every day. And you know what I noticed? And it was insulting and embarrassing. After that 2003 victory for Kim Collins, winning the world title, the fastest man in the world, he actually went to this guy here, Azard Powell, to shake his hand. And Azard Powell turned his back on Kim and walk and shrug his shoulders and walk away. I said, "No, look at that. Look at that." He vexed because Kim beat him. And at least he should have shown sportsmanship. Don't do the man that.
Right.
And normally, everybody goes to the winner and congratulate them.
Yes.
But Kim humbled himself to show him, "Well, boy, everybody had you to win the race, but then the surprise come out. You never expect that, but I beat you. So congratulations, still forgive me a hard one." He shrugged his shoulders and turned it back.
Culture, you know, I like to say sometimes it's good to be underestimated, you know.
I love that. And then what even give me more endurance and more pluck and energy when I go to a country where I'm not from, and everybody back in their athlete as a good man. That they give me more energy. I'm going to make all you eat up all your words today here. I have done it in the Leeward Islands. I wouldn't call the country name because of some people may not feel good.
Yes.
But when I go there, everybody back in the people, I say, "That's good, man. That's good." But I'm going to show you today here. The 10 words down here on the track, you know, is foot and bike and me. And I did make them pull back in their words in the mouth. So when people say, "Oh, you got the crowd behind you, man. They're supposed to win." No. Forget the crowd. It's you down there. It's you studying your opponent, so you know what to use to win them.
Yes.
So I'm going to continue to listen, but my tea is hot, so...
Yeah, do you think?
Thank you so much.
We understand. Thank you for your call.
Okay.
8:32. Let's take a quick break and come back with Island Tea.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Need some quick extra cash? Play Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery for a chance to win up to $40,000. Simply place your bet of $1, $2, $5, or $10. Choose your preferred draw time and play style, then select 4 numbers or play Quick Pick. Visit thecaribbeanlottery.com for more on how to play and to see daily draw results. If your numbers match the draw numbers, you are a winner. Get your Pick 4 tickets today at the Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be age 21 and over to play.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us. TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
And we are back, and it apparently Grenada has stepped up to host Carifta games next year.
Okay, awesome.
I'm gonna look for some. I'm trying to find.
Yeah, I see that the Grenada got it for next year, 2024.
Yeah.
So the athletes are going to Grenada, and I think after showing like this year, that St. Kitts and Nevis is going to come to Grenada bigger and better than before.
Definitely. At least that is exactly what I would do. I know for me, like, I love when people underestimate me. I love when people when I'm considered the dark horse, because that just and just like what Culture said, that just gives me more impetus to kill it.
It does.
There was another DQ with a Kittitian athlete, a heptathlete actually, who was
the male.
No, female.
Oh, the
that's
female.
Jazara.
That's what we were speaking about that.
I mean, she was disqualified because she stepped on the line during the
Yes. Yes.
I'm wondering, we were saying that, we were having all these what looks like shenanigans, but it could be just
They're always told, right?
But it could be just inexperience, meaning well, at least the instances where they get DQ'd because maybe they impeded someone or stuff like that.
Right. Like for instance, I was reading up on the one where I was telling you the Guyanese team got disqualified from the relay. Apparently, one of the persons in the relay team, because it was a mixed team, she had committed some type of infraction, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and apparently because of that, she really shouldn't have even been a part of the team. So that alone put them in a precarious position because she already had like this thing hanging over her head. So I would like to think that the coaches know. I don't think any of these things are new, because if you're going to be training to go to Carifta, you got to train according to their standards. I mean, I just think that this year, because the level of disqualifications and pulling back medals and all of that is so heightened, that we're now learning about it. But I'm pretty sure that they're not new, because it would be impossible to just impose this on them as they got down there. So they must have known, within training and all of that. But I'm still not happy about it.
You can kind of understand.
Go ahead, Jamsa.
You can kind of understand why people from the smaller islands are getting conspiracy theories and so on, right? But maybe it's
rationally speaking, logically,
You know what? I was watching one of the races where the Kittitian was in the lead, and the focus was on the 2 persons behind him.
Yes. The same Akande guy, right? So I was like, hello, do you not see who's at front?
Or I think
So they're doing the same thing they accuse the Americans of doing.
Yeah, it might not have been him. I think it might have been the one who won.
Jermaine?
Yes.
Was it Huggins?
Yes, I think it was Huggins.
They were not even calling his name. I was like, y'all can't be serious. I mean, okay, don't make it look that bad.
I have seen races where someone who wasn't expected to win won, and up to now they ain't called the person who won.
Because they're more frustrated that the US person didn't win.
I'm saying that we have our fine moments, when we do plays for goal. Give us an opportunity.
Our recognition then?
Give us our recognition.
Jeez, it really was disgusting.
You guys want to take a call?
Yes.
Go right ahead, Island T.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
He referred to Kim Collins. Some injustice was done to him. Could you recall when he won that race, the World Championship 100 meters? He was given a holiday, and it was taken back.
I don't think that the holiday was taken back. We still have the holiday. It's just
not celebrating it.
It's just not in the same as it's not
like a bank holiday.
Like a bank holiday, as the Barbadians would say.
What this man did is more than bank holiday. He put us on the map when people want to know St. Kitts, they say, ask Alfonso Bridgewater, he'll tell you.
So it's not a public holiday in the
and
the
everybody
sense.
know.
But
this
we
man
understand.
Did so much. This man is a national hero. So the main understanding about bank holiday. It's only one man could do that at a point in time. For example, how the young athletes can elevate. We supposed to have some kind of sporting event, and that they would supposed to be the final day.
Good point.
Man, understand this. Ain't everybody gonna achieve this? What he did achieve. So then, hey, man, back the man the holiday. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you so much. So
Listen, no
he's
arguments
not
there.
So currently he's not afforded a public holiday, but we do recognize Kim Collins Day, and I think it's August 25th. Is it not the 25th of August?
Actually, I don't remember the day, but you'll be happy to know that he's also Aries. I think he celebrated his birthday last week.
He's in April.
The caller makes a good point, because you would have thought
I
that
think so too.
the government would have started, successive governments would have thought of leveraging Kim Collins's legend status. They could have been doing some, just as they had the triathlon, sports tourism. They could have organized a meet, just like
Kim Collins meet.
Yeah, Grenada has a meet that every year where all sorts of big shots show up.
But it's a typical thing in the Caribbean, and if you say Grenada has one, then kudos to them. But it's a typical thing in the Caribbean. You do not get your flowers while you're alive. They wait until you're gone to sing all your praises. Just last week I saw, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chutney. Jamster, you're into music, so of course you know Chutney.
Yeah, Chutney, yeah.
But there's this singer called Terry Gajraj, very popular in Guyana, Trinidad. Most people that listen to Chutney probably know him. He's Guyanese. He made this ridiculously long post, and I don't mean ridiculous in the regular sense. The post was really long, just complaining about how he's not been honored at home because he got an Icon Award from Trinidad for the work that he's done in Chutney singing, right? And I couldn't help but I went on to the post, because when I won Miss Guyana Universe in 2005, I'm still waiting to get some of my prizes. I'm still waiting to get the land. I'm still waiting to get my magazine cover. All of this because, one, politics. Two, you never get what's owed to you. And people should never underestimate the strength it takes to go out and represent your country on an international level, right? I remember when Kim went and he was doing so well, they wanted to run a drug test on him, only to find out that it was salbutamol, which is a asthma medicine, in his system, because they were so surprised that somebody from a place that I guess they don't know, quote unquote, was performing so well. And, to think that, when you come home, you can't get what's due to you and more. I'm not saying that Kim didn't receive what was due to him, but I'm pretty sure that there's more that we can do, because who has come up to this level? Who has done the things that he has done in St. Kitts? Let's be honest, right? Like the guy just said. When you tell people where you're from, he says, I'm from St. Kitts, where Kim Collins is from. I remember being in school, and that's how people identified St. Kitts. It was like, oh, Kim Collins. Like, it used to be Kim Collins and Denzel Douglas, because Denzel Douglas was in for so long, right? And those were the two ways that they identified St. Kitts.
And believe me, there's nobody else on that level. Not even Denzel Douglas is on that level, because if you went to East Europe somewhere and you said
they would know Kim Collins.
They wouldn't know who Denzel Douglas is, but they would know who.
Well, I went to university in the Caribbean, so
No. Right. Your point is
but
valid too.
It's really sad that you just to be on an international stage and to be recognized for the country that you're representing and to be an ambassador, because automatically you're an ambassador, and you need to get your flowers. I think we have a call. You're saying we have a call?
Oh, they stopped ringing. They're pouting.
Yeah. So it's definite. And as you say, sometimes. Oh, we have a caller. Caller, you're live on Island T.
Caller, go ahead. It's 8:43 Island T. Go right ahead.
Jamster, I still don't play with the cards,
What's up?
My brother a while ago. It's sad. It's more than sad.
Yes.
It's terrible. We're not embracing our human rights. Me there Jamaica when Kim win, and the celebration me see in Jamaica. You know if Kim to come. Hey, no. You're talking about Caribbean.
Yes.
It is not all across the board in the Caribbean. Some Caribbean countries up it up. Some don't. And your sister just said a while ago from Guyana, she said, you guess Kim Collins get what they can be more. If he did get what he's supposed to get, there will be no more to get. Hey, no, I mean.
But therein lies the problem, doesn't it?
That achievement. You listen to me, Virgin, a while ago, you know, bank holiday. Which bank holiday that? Surpass bank holiday.
Mm-hmm.
This achievement here, when no, sure, let me come out the line here, man.
But you know,
You could
to
say that
his
he's
point,
very
right?
passionate,
No,
yes.
but to his point, I think it would also be an incentive to our other athletes.
Yeah,
I remember when listen, we have gotten really well at rewarding our athletes, but there's always room for improvement. At a point in time, they weren't even getting scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have athletes playing on football teams in Malta and all kind of places in Europe. We have people for tennis, table tennis. I'm waiting patiently for us to get swimmers. You know, so
Yes.
we're
Yes.
growing, right? We're growing.
Yes.
But there's always room for improvement. And why not start off by honoring the person who put us there?
and
Basically,
Candy-
there's no
Candy-
one else that I know that has done what Kim has
I
done.
am convinced that if governments invest in swimming, we'll start kicking ass there as well.
Yes.
Because fast twitch muscles don't suddenly stop working in water.
First of all, we're an island, so we have
Exactly.
Guyana won a gold in swimming, by the way.
Yeah,
and
man,
Guyana is
yeah.
the land of many waters.
But
So
you know-
they
do you
also
know-
have no
wait,
excuse.
do you know he's the U.S. head coach for swimming?
Very nice.
What's his name? Bandy.
cannot
Yes,
remember his name. Don't
he's a
ask.
U.S. head coach.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy. I mean, imagine that. You would think that maybe Guyana would say, "Hey, let's go out on a limb and invest in a swimming program and let's." I mean, you know, but no.
it's crazy. We
Yes.
have no excuse in the islands. We have no excuse in Guyana.
Hello,
Yes.
hello, Island
Yes,
team.
man.
Hey,
This is culture here again, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think more only what's she name there? Miss what's she name?
Franklin.
She might be around when I was peddling. But Azard, you were in hipping. and Jams were in Doyopo.
Oh my goodness!
You realize when Kim win the race, he was the only one had on socks,
Wow.
and they were long black socks.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
true.
it's
Yes,
true.
yes. I'm seeing the picture in my head. Yes.
Okay, and listen this now. I agree with the two callers after me.
Mm-hmm.
We should not say because it is not a bank holiday. He didn't go there to represent the bank. He represent the Federation of Sinkers and Nevis.
So culture, right? When they say bank holiday, and I think it's a term we got from England with their madness.
Yeah.
It just means everybody celebrates, including the banks, so the banks
Yeah.
are closed.
So, you know, banks are
So-
closed.
Oh, the bank important.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll give him any money to buy vitamin to help him.
Boy.
Cultural. Let's take another call.
Yeah,
Caller, go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning, man. How you guys doing?
Oh, we doing
Good
good.
morning.
Good
we're
day.
good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, man. I wanted to just, congratulate all the athletes from St. Kitts and Nevis. You know, the track and field thing, man. It's very difficult. Being a track athlete, man. Me myself, I migrated down to the Virgin Islands when I was in my teenage years. And I had the opportunity to run for Charlotte O'Malley High School there in St. Thomas, and I went off to the Penn Relays and a meet at high school meet, I think, in Gainesville, Florida. So I was able to, participate in two meets on the U.S. mainland, the Penn Relays and the Gainesville Invitational. But right when I was about to go into college, man, it really got to me, and I quit. But, me, myself, I felt good that I achieved those two events. But, the young lady who is a cricketer, when she come back to the Federation, the one that just got disqualified, I know that must have crushed her because when she came back from, playing the West Indies youth cricket, she had a celebration. They met her at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they should meet her at the airport again because it's very sad that you see she's going to be disappointed at this Carifta Games. But when she come home, when the athletes them come home, we need to still, meet them and give them some type of, support because,
Agreed.
all of this disappointments at the Carifta Games with these rules and regulations, it must be questioned for some of these athletes. But the Kim Collins situation with the holiday, we need to recognize him some more. That's really truthful. I know Nevis got a big into like the primary school meet they have in Nevis. One of those days when they have those events, they should designate one of these days to be a real Kim Collins holiday. Let it be a day when they have a meet that's going on. Even if it's not happening in St. Kitts, maybe the Nevis side can jump on it and maybe designate that day for the primary school day in Nevis. That sports day, they can at least, designate that day for the Kim Collins Day. But I wish all the athletes them the best going forward, man. And we got to look out for Area Knighton from Jamaica. He just ran 9.91.
No, Area Knighton is American. He's American. He's American.
Oh, he's American? Oh,
yeah.
My bad. Sorry. Okay, we got to look out for him going forward, man, all right? And, you guys have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Same to you.
So I got the overall standings for Carifta. I'm doing
I'm looking at it. But the caller made a really good point. Yeah. But this is in men's medal
overall.
table.
We're fourth overall as well. 11 medals. I didn't realize that.
Lovely.
So Jamaica is first with 78 medals.
So that's the real thing, right, Jam?
Yeah,
so that's not kidding all the
Worldtrack.org.
Okay, great.
Bahamas 46 second, Trinidad third with 25, and St. Kitts and Nevis 11 in fourth.
Wow.
Barbados is fifth with 10th. So we're not doing too bad given our population.
I really hope they do something really nice for them when they come back, because at the end of the day, not only did they make us proud, put us on the map again, they're young people. Yeah. And you have to be so careful with persons' mental well-being, right? They've already gone there. They've just to qualify, like Azard rightly said, is a major achievement. But then to go to perform that well, and then some of them have had disappointments. I agree with the caller. They should do something really nice for them when they get back here.
I'm being told by one of my friends here that this thing we're reading, worldtrack.org, that it's wrong because they're saying we only won one goal. So let me look for another.
Yeah,
source.
because
I think they took back Jazara's.
Yeah, let me go to World Athletics.
That's why I was wondering.
Okay, I've gone to World Athletics. So
because based on the article I'm seeing, and this article is Associate Times, and it's dated. I'm not seeing the date, and I'm hoping it's from a reputable. I'm not seeing the date. It says that St. Kitts Carifta Games 2023, St. Kitts and Nevis wins 4 medals, 1 gold, 2 silver, and a bronze.
So I wonder.
So they're not counting jail and silver in that one then, because was that the one that they took back?
Yeah. Hey man, I don't know what's going on. Barbados wins 10 medals at Carifta Games. I'm still trying to find definitive results because I'm on World Athletics, which is basically the Bible.
That's why I wanted to know, because
we're definitely gonna have to reach out to the St. Kitts Nevis
because I haven't seen the overall placement. I usually would see it, but I'm not seeing it. And I did a search here on the Google, and perhaps I should ask Siri.
And I'm getting the worldtrack.org, but in the World Athletics page. I clicked final medal count, and I'm still getting back to where it's saying St. Kitts has 11 medals. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I'm on the World Track.
Yes, that's what I'm getting.
You think they counted the mini games? Because remember in the
at the beginning?
No, remember you had like I want to say, I'm not a sports expert, but you know the one that Claxon.
You mean the heptathlon?
Yes.
Heptathlon.
You had mini. Those were like mini events.
But they all added up because remember they had
added
to.
Up,
right, so that's why she got placed.
Yeah, I don't know if they counted those. I don't know because I'm wondering where they would have gotten the 11 medals from.
That's what I'm wondering.
But if you do a relay, everybody on the team
but I'm
gets
looking.
one.
But
That's how they're counting?
I'm looking at it. At this site, worldtrack.org, and it says Jamaica first, 20 goals, Bahamas second, 6 goals, Trinidad third, 4 goals, St. Kitts and Nevis fourth, 4 goals.
Are you looking at the one that says medal table standings? Because I feel like that's the first table that you're looking at.
And it says in women,
Right.
think it's 9. Yeah, that's the table I'm looking at.
Right, but this is just for men. So like, what's the total count?
So he's saying he's saying that with the disqualification of Jazara, maybe that, I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll definitely have to bring in somebody. We can have like a nice little chat with them.
Yeah.
About this
Because-
whole thing, just to kind of brief us and the listening public so that we're all on the same
Because
page.
I realize
we're
with
very
the,
bitter.
With the Carifta, I would expect that the Carifta, and I've been trying to search for the results from Carifta, where it shows clearly where St. Nevis place, and I cannot seem to find it. And I checked the Athletic Association page as well, and I don't think I saw it. No, well, I didn't see it at the time I checked. I don't know if it's there now. But the time I checked, I didn't see it. So I'm really hoping to see how we placed overall. Regardless, our athletes did amazingly well and should be commended for
I think
the effort that they have.
their
displayed.
slogan was unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
SKN,
SKN.
unstoppable.
Unstoppable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty decent looking logo
Conrad's
too.
song,
Yes.
probably. Yeah.
Yes.
I have no clue.
Actually, that
but
would
I
have
just
been.
love the fact that it's unstoppable.
To me, that would be a great song for like any national team to play.
Unstoppable force,
the-
right?
Unstoppable
Yeah.
force.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Especially the way it
definitely.
starts.
Yes.
St. Kitts.
A very catchy calypso. Well, it was a calypso or
Soca,
beat.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
the soca
right.
beat. Yeah. A really nice song.
Well, the doctor is joining us. It's
Yes.
8:55, and
Dr. Osborne, we're
yes.
here for our weekly dose.
weekly dose. And
Yes.
I had thought that maybe she was one of the people who was mistaking today for Monday, because we know, understandably, that happens.
No, she's
Seems
on
as
the,
though you're
she's
on
on
your
the
own.
ball.
Yes.
She's on the ball.
You're on your
No,
own
no,
with that.
no, not me. I'm just speaking from experience, because a lot of people thought Thursday last week was Friday.
Yeah.
It always happens when it's like
Yeah.
a short week.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all right then.
And,
So are we gonna
okay,
do a little
so-
break and then set up for the doc?
No, we can go ahead. I
can go ahead,
I
yeah.
turn the camera off. All she has to do is get the mic going, and we'll have
Let's just put
the
the
weekly
shot that we have.
dose.
You could have it right.
Yeah. But maybe we should take a little break and come back. So it's 8:56. We'll take a quick break. Hear from Tapwater Caribbean, and we'll be back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Do you want to improve the quality of your water? Is buying bottled water costing you a fortune? Say no to bottled water and yes to Tapwater Caribbean and Espo Water Solutions. We offer eco-friendly filtration products such as our Ultra Filter or our Bottle Pro for at home or on the go. Fill up anywhere. We also have a Shower Pro designed to protect and give you healthy skin. Visit us today at tapwatercaribbean.com or on Facebook and Instagram. Let's drink clean, pure, healthy water together. Remember, go green, save money, and save our planet.
And it's time for the weekly dose. It's 1 minute until 9 o'clock, and we've got Dr. Natalie Osborne in studio, and it's time. Like I said, weekly dose.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
Dr. Osborne, before we start, how was your Easter weekend?
It was quiet. It was quiet. I had to work, of course. There's no stopping it. There's no holidays when it comes to work. I was actually on call this weekend, but it seems like our people behave well themselves.
So quiet is good.
Yes, quiet is good.
Good for you. At least you got a little bit of rest. I mean, not too hectic.
Yes.
So welcome. I missed you last week.
Yes,
Candy
we missed
was
you.
nice.
And I thank you. And I thought your topic was so poignant because as soon as it was done, we had a gunshot victim.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, you cannot be serious. We
I
just
know.
had a whole show about this because I was in bed listening.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought, okay, perfect timing, great show. People were calling in.
Yeah.
And that means they were listening. And then.
But when that happened, all the things that she spoke about came to my mind.
Yes.
I start to think about JNF and how they're setting up, how you even
Yes.
see the victim on the ground, how you're supposed to position them, you check for the other to see if you have
I started
other
running
wounds.
through it in my head
And
too.
I'm
I was like, but
thinking-
we just covered this. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
You know what? I like that you guys are saying that because it tells me that the information is getting out there and the point of the show is to educate.
Yes, it
Nothing
is.
beats education, and that's what we're here for always, to inform our audience.
So tell
Awesome.
us, what are we going to be discussing today?
Okay, we're going to be discussing a topic that is quite familiar in the community. We're going to be talking about gallbladder disease. Many persons would keep saying that they have gallstones, they have infection in their gallbladder, and things like that. So it is not anything that is not familiar to our community because it is a quite frequently diagnosed condition that is diagnosed in our
Yes.
community. So we'll discuss about it, and of course our audience will listen in, and then we'll ask a question in the latter part of the show.
For those persons who may not know, could you explain to them what the gallbladder is?
Well, the gallbladder is a small pear-shaped organ that is right under the. The gallbladder is a small pear-shaped organ that is seen right or felt right under the right side, just below your rib cage on the right side. That's we call the right upper quadrant. So that is where the gallbladder is. So it's a small organ and it has bile inside of it.
Right. And what's its function?
Yes, it's interesting that you say that because it is an organ that is a part of the digestive system. It assists in the breakdown of fats. So it essentially has bile, which is a liquid with different components and different stuff made up in it. And it has bile salts. And what it does when you eat a fatty meal, so you go out with your friends and you have that lovely cheese pizza, you have that ice cream. When you eat that ice cream, it's important because it has lots of fats in
Yes.
it. And then the gallbladder releases the bile, which is that green liquid there, and it helps to break down that fat so that the body can digest it and use it as it see fits. So that's the function. So the bile itself is made in the liver, and then it goes in the gallbladder where it is stored. And when it is needed, when you have a fatty meal, it is released so that it can help with the breakdown of fats.
But we often talk about the gallbladder and about gallstones. A lot of persons like to talk about that.
Yeah.
For persons who are listening and might not be familiar with what a gallstone is, could you break down that for us?
Okay, gallstones are essentially formed in the gallbladder. So we said that the gallbladder has the bile in it, and the bile is made up of several different components. One of that component is we have bile salts, we have cholesterol. And if you have quite a lot of cholesterol, I'm sure you remember, some of you who would have done chemistry, you
Yes.
heard about crystallization.
Yes.
And when you have a lot of anything in there, it can supersaturate or become so much that it crystallizes out, forming that stone. So you have that cholesterol, and that cholesterol is so much, it becomes crystallized almost, and it has this hard stone. They can be as small as a grain of sand, or even as huge as a golf ball. So they can be varied in size.
So because you said the bile is a liquid, and
Yes.
so with the cholesterol, it's sort of
fat.
solidify
Yes.
the liquid, and so that formation of the ball is there.
Yes. So anything that is inside of the bile that becomes so much in concentration, it becomes super saturated or over excessive, and it can crystallizes and form those stones.
These are the same thing that we call kidney stones, or is it different type of stone?
Oh, good question, because oftentimes people mix up the two. Well,
Right.
kidney stones are formed in the kidney, which is a separate organ from the gallbladder. The kidney is a part of the urinary system that helps to form the urine. The gallbladder is a part of the digestive system that is responsible for the breakdown of food and stuff. So two different organ and systems.
So if you eat food high in cholesterol, chances are it would increase your chance of getting gallstones?
Yes, it can increase your chance, but also, as we're going to talk later, there are different reasons or risk factors. You know, most of the things have reasons for the development of it.
Right, because I was going to ask, how do they block the flow of the bile, the gallstones?
So once you have a gallstones, and I want you to know that over 80%, if you have 10 persons or 100 persons randomly and you do studies on them, you may find that 80 of them, or if it's 100 persons, 80 of them may have gallstones, and it may never become a problem. But here's what happened. You can have that stone inside the gallbladder all your life, but if that stone goes down in the distal part of the gallbladder or the duct where it blocks the opening. And I want you to keep in mind, you remember a couple weeks ago we spoke about appendicitis?
Yes, we did.
And we said that everything starts with the blockage of the opening of the appendix, the same way with the gallbladder. If a stone gets down to the duct or the opening there and it blocks it, then it creates havoc.
So you're saying that there might be gallstones in your body, but unless it blocks that passage, it's not a problem, so to speak.
Yes, it could. You could. That's why we're saying you can go on for years with having these gallstones and never have a problem unless it blocks the entrance or the opening, and then it gets stuck there. And then what happened? You eat a fatty meal. The bile wants to be released so that it can help with the breakdown, but the bile cannot be released because it is blocked there, and then it creates all of these problems.
Oh,
Good grief. You know, it's like in my head, I'm trying to imagine it because like soon as you brought up that, I was thinking the appendix is pencil size. So this is a pear now. So I'm trying to get the visuals in my head. Awesome job. So what is cholecystitis? Am I saying it the correct way?
Cholecystitis.
Cholecystitis.
Cholecystitis. And it may be a big word, but the gallbladder, anything associated with the gallbladder can give you, can be associated with the word choledocho, and it can be associated with the word, anything with chole, you're thinking the gallbladder. So cholecystitis is the inflammation of the gallbladder. Remember earlier, several weeks ago, we said anything that has itis is an inflammation or inflammatory process, appendicitis. So cholecystitis refers to an inflammation of the gallbladder. And once there's an inflammation, you have all of the different things that come. We said the same way with appendicitis, you block the opening. The same way with the gallbladder, once you block that opening, it becomes inflamed, distended, irritated, and you have cholecystitis.
Wow. But how common is that?
It is pretty common as compared to, it is one of the most common surgical procedures worldwide. Maybe in the United States, because I don't have local statistics at this point, over 120,000 persons are diagnosed with cholecystitis worldwide. And it is so common, especially more in the female gender.
You're saying that it is common, and you just said the female gender.
Yeah.
So those are the person who are at risk greatest.
Yes, at greater risk of developing cholecystitis. Yes. You'll often would have heard a woman say, oh, I'm having pain just under my rib here, or my gallbladder is bothering me. That is what they use. And if it becomes so much that the person starts having pain and vomits and stuff, then you suspect that the person has an inflammation of the gallbladder.
So why would it affect women more than men?
I like how you're thinking, Gumbs, because that means that you're really thinking. Why is it that it affects women more than men? One of the things that women do, we reproduce. And any woman, usually a person who is fertile or has multiple pregnancies, they have an increased risk of having gallstones and gallbladder disease. Why is that? Every time you have a pregnancy, the high estrogen and stuff, and also because your tummy is growing, the fetus is growing in the uterus, it kind of blocks everything there. You got all of your bowels pushed aside and stuff, and there is stasis. The gallbladder begins to not function as it should because the outflow, as the fetus is growing, it's pushing and pressing the stomach, the different organs, displacing some of them, and so you get all of this stasis. And anywhere that the bile is not flowing freely, it becomes settled, and it gives a chance for the crystallization, as we spoke about, and the formation of the stones, and create a problem.
Good grief. but men are also at risk, right? Let's just put that out there.
Men do get gallstones and do have it, but at a lower chance or percentage than
and
women.
we're not putting fear in those women who are pregnant.
No, but remember, knowledge is power. So we want to make sure that our audience are quite aware. So men do get it too. I don't want to think that men do not, but at a lower incidence of developing gallstones than women.
Yes.
Wow. So are there other persons that are at risk for this?
Of course. Usually, we already established females.
Right.
Once you're above the age of 40, once you get to that middle age and above, you're in increased risk of developing gallstones. Yeah. If you have a family history too, because usually a lady her mom might have had gallstones or her grandmother, that is a strong family history. We have a call.
We have a call.
We have a call. Okay, go right ahead. Bring the caller in.
Hi, caller. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
I learned a lot from you last time. Now, let me tell you an experience, Doc. 1979. I take 2 weeks vacation from riding my bike, training on my bike every day. And my stomach started to feel bloated. And I went to a doctor. First thing he tell me, I got gallstone. And he ain't test nothing yet. So anyway, he sent me to the hospital. And every day he and other doctors come there to me and they stand up and they watch me. They say, you don't smoke? I said, no. And now they got muffler on our chimney. Then one day I said, why should they ask me for the smoke? And I had a book that I bought, marked Human Physiology Anatomy. And I studied that book. And I went to the symptoms that I had. And the book tell me what happened to me. I was poisoned with carbon monoxide. So when they come, I tell him what happened to me. He started to laugh. He said, how you know? I said, see it there in the book. So saying that to say this, a lot of doctors just jump to conclusion before they do a thorough test on the human body, and that is wrong. So thank you for your education, Doc.
Oh, okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you for
your call.
Okay, so we were talking about the risk factors or the reasons why a person may develop these gallstones. We said also if you have a diet high in fat and cholesterol. Remember you asserted that, Gumbs, earlier.
Yes.
Persons who are obese.
Yes.
Of
Obesity.
Course, obesity. Remember we said a couple of weeks ago you control obesity in everything.
Yes.
It just throws everything out of whack.
That's why it's important to eat healthily and exercise.
Yes. Because anything you can always throw obesity and blame it on obesity or partially. So persons who are diabetic as well too. And if we have patients who are sickle cell, they're at risk of having a type of stone called pigment stone. So you will see that also. Yes. Wow. And if in instances where a person would be fasting a long time and they lose significant amount of weight. Why is that? Because that might be interesting because you said that person is losing weight. Why would they develop gallstones? If they're fasting, remember the bile is released only when you eat a meal. And if you're not eating much, the bile stays there. And anything that becomes static or stasis there, it can then create that sludge and create that
solidifies
and create that stone. So sometimes it says
you always have to keep it moving.
Yeah. You have to keep it moving. Yeah, so those are the common risk factors. Being a female, being over the age of 40, a person who's obese, a person who has multiple pregnancies over the years, persons who have a family history, even if you're diabetic, you're at increased risk, persons who have hemolytic anemia. Just simply think about persons who have sickle cell disease. Sometimes we have young patients come in and you say, oh, you have gallstones, and you do their test, you realize that they have sickle cell anemia, things like that.
Wow.
So we have 2 calls. Go ahead, caller. You're live with the weekly dose.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
You mentioned a grain of sand could block the valve. Is it wise for people to cook with black pepper? A black pepper grain does not dissolve. So asking that question, when you go to a restaurant, this is salt and black pepper on the table. Some people are still use the black pepper for the spice, but yet still, I believe the best thing they should use is the hot pepper itself. Please give your opinion. Thanks a lot. I listen.
Okay. Are we going to respond to that or wait for the other
There's
question?
another call. We still have the other call. Okay.
Okay, so he said that, okay, we said earlier that gallstones can be as small as a grain of sand, but it usually takes multiple of them, not one single one, to block the entrance or the opening. And then he made a reference to if you eat pepper. Anything that you eat does not get directly into the gallbladder, so that's not going to create a problem. The peppers and stuff that we use for condiments and so, some of them have their benefits. You don't want to do anything in excess, but the pepper itself is not going to get directly to your gallbladder. Remember, that goes into your gastrointestinal tract, goes into your mouth, goes in your to food tube, your stomach and stuff, and is broken down and digested. But we said that the gallbladder's function is essentially to break down fats because it has the bile in it. When you eat a nice fatty meal, it sends that lovely bile, and that bile helps to break down, or what we say in medicine, emulsify it, but to break down the fat and help it to be used as we need it to in the body, or stored if there is excess, which we don't want.
We have another caller. The callers are excited this morning.
Caller, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Osborne.
Good morning.
Well, that's my family. I'm a husband. It's a looking company. Anything go take two.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, so you're a husband, I'm a husband. Now, in 1999, my husband got sick, and the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. He had high fever, you know. And so, well, he was hospitalized, and then Dr. Wilkerson, God bless him, well, he said, well, he's serious. So since I can't figure out, he would carry him to surgery, which he did. When he came back, he said he has a 50-50 chance. Eh? So I said, well, go right ahead, do what you got to do. So when he came back, he said he took out his gallbladder and his appendix. I said to him, well, why so? And my husband was still sick. I had to take him to Antigua for MRI, and they discovered he had a cyst on his liver. So I always ask myself, was that surgery, the removal of the gallbladder and the appendix, necessary? That's what I was asking myself. You see what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, so your question being to us?
Was it necessary for him to remove the gallbladder? Since after we did the MRI, it said he had a cyst on the liver.
Okay, well, usually a cyst
So would that have caused any infection also in the liver or the appendix, or just precaution?
Well, usually you don't take out a gallbladder if it's not affected. So I was not there. This is many years ago, as you said, so I cannot speak to that. Usually you do not take out an organ such as a gallbladder unless it is affected. Once you've had stones in your gallbladder, it says just that the gallbladder is not functionally well. So what? You don't just go and remove the stones, because if you remove the stones and you leave the gallbladder, they can have more.
There was no mention of him having stones in the gallbladder.
Yeah, but we're speaking about an issue that I really cannot speak on. Usually, even when you have a cyst, I do not think a cyst is usually a benign sac filled with fluid or liquid, and I do not know if that was the reason for your husband's pain. But for someone to remove the gallbladder, there's usually an indication. So I do not know what was the indication at that time.
Because I always wondered about just why you mean you the MRI, because after he gave him some antibiotics, and he just went like that.
Okay.
You know? So I always wondered, so was it necessary? You know, but as you say, it wasn't there, and, you know, we just on my mind all the time.
Yes.
All right, then.
Okay, you have a good day. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so much for calling. You know, she pointed out some stuff, and I think we should get to that. What are some of the symptoms of, I'm not even going to try to say that word.
Oh.
I just know itis, gallbladder infection.
Okay, so the word is cholecystitis. Here's what.
me
Remember, we
practice
said
it.
that we're doing an educative show. So the objective is that when we're done, we learn something.
A new word, right?
A new word.
This one is challenging. Cholecystitis.
Yes. And I always tell the students that will rotate with us, that work with us at the hospital. When you leave here, I have one objective, that you learn something new. And so at the beginning, I would tell them that. And when the session is over, I ask them, has anyone learned something new? You know?
I have,
and
definitely.
So we always say that. So cholecystitis is the infection or inflammation of the gallbladder. What are some of the symptoms? And you asked an excellent question. You can have pain under your right side of the rib cage. We call that area the right upper quadrant because it's on the right side and it's the upper side. So keep that in mind. So it's right under there, you'll have pain. And the pain can be crampy in nature. And not only the pain can also move to your right shoulder blade. Some person will say, Doc, I'm having pain in my right shoulder region there. That may indicate that there's something wrong with the gallbladder. You can also have things like vomits. Any problem that you have with the GI tract or the gastrointestinal tract, anything like the stomach, the intestines, you can always have nausea where you feel upset in your stomach, or you can vomit, okay? You can also have fever. You can have chills where you feel like although it's a warm day, you feel cold and you're shaking. And that person can also lose their appetite. Okay, so usually you'll have things like nausea, vomit, and we say something that we call fatty food intolerance. I'll break that down. What does that mean really? Anytime you eat certain food, it triggers the pain. Remember we said the gallbladder stores the bile, and the bile is released when you have certain foods in the GI tract. That's fatty food. So if you go and have a nice pizza or some fried chicken wings, and you say, 15, 20 minutes after you start having this pain. Because what? The gallbladder has to release the bile to break down that fat. But if the gallbladder is blocked by a stone or something there, then it cannot release the bile, and then the person starts coming with the pain. So those are the common symptoms. Pain in the tummy, you can have nausea, you feel upset, you can vomit, you can have fever, and every time you start asking and figuring out, when I eat certain food, that's what triggers the pain, and you realize, when I ate the pizza, when I ate the ice cream, when I had the fried foods, that's what triggers the pain.
Wow.
Yes.
Hello,
Carla.
Hello.
Caller?
I call her, right? Okay, that person. Okay.
You know, this session is so educational because now you know when you eat fatty foods and you get pain, immediately my mind is going
thinking,
to gallbladder.
Is it? Is it that it's not functioning? Is it that it's saturated and stuff is crystallizing?
Is the bile moving along?
I know, right?
I just know the ham will always be in trouble. Christmas, so.
But,
the what?
The ham.
The ham.
Oh.
The ham will never be spared. Caller, go right ahead.
Yeah, give thanks to the laughter. Yeah, give thanks to the information, doctor. We didn't hear root cause mentioned, root cause of them thing there. And you know, the cutting and the going in a people's body, there is alternative medicine that can remedy certain things, you know, of that nature. And then again, changing of I don't even want to use the word diet, you know, because diet sounds like people are dead and die. I'm not telling you these words here. English is a funny language, you know.
Yes, it is.
Changing, you know, the style of eating and drinking can reverse certain things. And, you know, really, you know, the way the human body, you're not doctor, you know, but the way the human body make up, you know, the human body, I think, make up to accommodate certain things, yeah? And not to be like a car. I mean, damn side, no, you're not driving, me see I walk with you. But I got show certain things in your vehicle where you know for going in there. You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, your body superb, excellently created, and mankind have moved away from giving the goodie the essential, what it ought to get, just cause all these problems. So people just take stock, man, and stop putting the how we go again. Stop putting the cat in front of the horse and stop using their teeth to dig their grave. Yeah, man, it's time we really realize it's because me listen to the doctor a while ago and she said, okay, so trigger that. Well, if a little piece of indulging that little thing what trigger that. Imagine consuming them things there, day in, day out. No, I know what I notice, doctor. We see some people here just live on holiday and they eat it and they go eat they eat them on the road. I'll be afraid we see them eating now.
Okay. Thank you for calling. Thank you for supporting the show. We're so happy to hear you.
Yes, we are.
Thanks for taking the call. Blessed love.
Okay. Well, he made some good points. Everything usually comes down to working with traditional medicine that I practice and healthy lifestyle. Of course, we encourage it because a lot of our health problems starts with how we eat. The lack of exercise. So he was making that point, okay? So that is where the natural and healthy lifestyle can make a lot of difference, okay? Eating well, exercising, making the right choices when it comes to our diet. Of course, if we keep our bodies fit, we live longer, we live healthier, and we avoid some of these health issues that we can control with our diet.
Agreed.
Caller, go right ahead. Okay, it so happens we have another call. Okay, and yet another caller, go right ahead. Weekly dose.
Yes,
Hi.
real quickly for the doctor, right? I just wanted to ask a weird question. When a lady become pregnant, right? And their diet just go crazy and they get all these weird cravings for different foods and stuff. Is there any relationship with this discussion you're having right here? I'm listening off the air.
Okay. Well, as we're speaking about the gallbladder and gallstones, and we mentioned as one of the risk factors is having multiple pregnancies, he's asking if there is any link between what you actually eat. During that time, though, women have tons of cravings when they're pregnant, so they're craving different things that we normally would not want to eat. But usually what happens with the gallstones and creating that problem of gallstones is because there is a stasis. How can I liken it? Like the drain. You have the drain on the side of the street. If there is something there, it blocks it and the water does not flow and it becomes stagnant. So the same way with the pregnancy, everything is kind of, your GI tract function kind of becomes a little bit more sluggish. Your capacity in your tummy, the space in the tummy is occupied mostly by the fetus, okay, the growing fetus. And the organs and the structures are kind of displaced. And so we have the gallbladder that is there, pushed aside, the stomach is pushed aside, and so there's not good flow. And sometimes the stuff becomes, stays there for a while, becomes sluggish, and that can increase the formation of gallstones. That's the most important physiology behind that, the creation of gallstones during the pregnancy, and your high estrogen, of course, which is a factor. That is why women tend to have gallstones more than men, because of the high estrogen.
Right. So, Doc, how do you diagnose it? Hopefully we can get to this part so that people will know, right?
So how do we diagnose it? Remember we spoke about the signs and symptoms, the history, of course. Any doctor, you come and you see a patient, you ask them what's going on, what are your symptoms, and you said, okay, and you said, let me examine you. You take them to your examination table, you examine the patient. So you're looking to see if they have pain in the right upper quadrant or just under the right side of the rib cage. When you touch this, see if it is tender, if the person reacts quite a lot, okay? We also said once you have the history of them having the pain, the vomits, the fatty food intolerance, or the pain associated when they eat these food, and then you can say, let's do some blood works. You want to check to their white blood cells to see if they increase, suggesting there's an infection. You want to check to see if the liver is functioning, see if there's an increase in any of the liver enzymes or things like that. That would suggest there's a problem in the gallbladder. And then you can get an ultrasound, which is very good and very sensitive to diagnose if there are stones inside of the gallbladder.
Okay. Okay.
And there are
Sounds
other
good.
tests that you can do, which are much more sophisticated. You have a CT scan if you're not sure, and different things that some of these other advanced studies we may not have in the federation, but an ultrasound can usually give you your diagnosis.
Okay.
Okay.
And real quickly, just before we wrap up, how can we treat it? So we've discovered we have this disease. How do we treat it?
Of course, if the patient has acute cholecystitis, that is usually managed in the hospital because they have an infectious process. You want to make sure the person is well hydrated, give them pain medication, give them antibiotics, okay, to help calm the infectious process down. And ultimately, once you have gallstones and you're having an infectious process, you're going to need to have the gallbladder removed. Okay, that can be done open or it can be done laparoscopically. So essentially, once you start having stones being formed in the gallbladder is not functioning well, and so you'll have to remove it.
And for callers who are listening, laparoscopic,
yeah.
meaning putting the tube down.
No, those are minimal surgery, like where you put little ports or entry point in the abdomen, and you remove the gallbladder, or you can move the appendix to smaller points or smaller openings.
So you could. Is that available here?
Well, at one point we were doing laparoscopic cholecystectomy, but no, not currently.
It seems less
invasive.
Yes, that's the
than
word.
actually going under the knife.
Yes, yes, because you're making smaller holes. The recovery time is much quicker. The hospital stay is shortened. The person can return to their normal lifestyle and their work in a shorter span of time, of course.
Doctor, before you go, can you give the listeners your office address and so on if
Oh, well, I'm right here in the Sands Complex.
I didn't realize that.
You didn't realize that?
No, we had no idea. No.
She's always on time.
I
We
did
know
not
why.
know that.
No, because I know you were located like lower Market Street.
Yes.
And I keep passing there and I'm looking, right?
And
but
you
I
realize-
didn't realize I
had no idea.
Well, since you asked, then all right. When once Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, because we were partners for many years, and once he left, we merged the practices, and I brought everything over to the Sands Complex.
Oh,
So that's B2 Sands Complex.
So
B2.
where he was at is where you are now.
Yes.
So you're our neighbor.
Okay.
So that's at B2 Complex.
Yes.
There, right at the front.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you guys are experiencing any of the symptoms we discuss, you can come on down and see
Yeah,
Dr.
check-
Osborne.
check
Another
Dr.
quick question.
Osborne.
Another quick question. Do you do house calls? Is that something doctors do now?
Well, there's some doctors who do
Okay.
that, but no, I don't
Okay,
usually
okay.
ever
I
practice
just
doing
wondered.
house
Because you're a
calls.
surgeon, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Can't really do the surgery.
That's
no.
true. That's true.
I like that, Candisie.
No, I know, but
Can't really do the
I didn't know she did some
Preliminary
of the,
exam.
the GP
I'll give
thing
you
on the
that
side.
one,
The
yeah.
GP thing on the side. You know.
But once you're a physician, and well, because of our society, and your patients come to you for many different reasons, so
Yes.
you will have different complaints that you're addressing. And once a patient is familiar with you, if they have a cough or cold, they'll still come by and
course.
visit you because they're comfortable with you.
Yes,
You've
yes.
earned their trust over time. So
It's
So
just that
could I ask where you went to school in the Caribbean?
no, I studied in Cuba.
Oh, you studied in Cuba?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow.
So I
So you're
speak Spanish.
bilingual.
Yes,
Perfect.
quite well.
Oh,
I
wow.
actually should have had I don't know why they didn't give us a certificate to say that we
I
have a
know.
degree in Spanish itself.
Yeah.
because
good point.
It
Good
You
was
had to learn that before you
had
actually
to learn
started,
that.
right?
And to be honest with you guys, it was a struggle. It was tedious because every class you're learning in Spanish. So imagine you having to think, okay, what are they saying? So you're translating in your mind, trying to understand, but while learning. So it was
Yes.
so much more
Listen,
complex.
this degree is just 10 times even better now because you had to learn it bilingually,
Because
right?
I'm thinking to study medicine in English as an English-speaking person is
It
hard
is
enough.
tough. It is tough.
Oh my
And then, so
goodness.
then it means you have to be reading much more. You have to be looking things, and you're trying to
And then
translate
textbooks
it.
are in
Spanish. Remember, we're studying everything
Yeah.
in Spanish, and you have to be. But the beauty of this is that the medical language is more Latin.
This is true.
Yeah.
So a lot of the words are quite familiar,
Yes.
and they're in
Yes.
terms of the spelling. a lot of
Because
the things are
for
quite
law, we actually had to do that too.
yeah, it's
so
a lot of Latin in law.
Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah, I
so
totally
they-
understand where you're coming from. But this has been like an awesome learning lesson this morning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm wondering? Have you seen one? What do they look like? Like all through this, session, we're learning these things, and I'm thinking, did they do cadavers? Like, has she seen one? Like, did you dissect a gallbladder? Like,
I'm sure she has.
You have to. Yes, you did your basic anatomy. You had to be working with the cadaver. Yeah, you gotta become comfortable with that. Yeah.
So she's using that word.
I actually wanted to do
medicine. You
yes,
did?
so I did chemistry and biology.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like law was my calling.
I actually had an interest in medicine at one point in time. I did chemistry and biology as well.
But what changed your mind?
Well, I must admit, one was the blood, and two, I thought about entering the realm of politics, and then I said, would medicine, having to go through all of that and then go down that line, would it, line up with that? And I thought about law. And I thought about law, being able to marry the two.
Yes.
So then I chose law.
Okay.
For me, I wanted to do law since I was 6. And then I swapped because I fell in love with chemistry. I absolutely loved chemistry. Don't think chemistry liked me that much, right? I wanted to be an epidemiologist. And then I just swapped and
Cameron
went back to
taught me chemistry.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
How long
was
ago
your
was
favorite?
that, Jam Star?
And David Lake taught me physics.
Oh, David Lake taught me physics, chemistry, and biology.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Well, no, he taught me, he did biology classes. So, but Miss St. Catherine, Nicholas St.
Yes.
Catherine taught me biology.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes. I got the ones in
Nicola or
biology
Nadia?
and chemistry, but even though the grades were there,
Still. I still like chemistry. I love organic chemistry, but kudos to you guys, right? I like
you had
it.
to follow your hat. You had
Yes,
to follow your hat.
yes.
But as you spoke about, you wanted to be a lawyer since you were 6.
Yeah.
I swore from the time I came out of my mother's womb, I wanted to be a doctor.
Oh.
It's always been what's been on my
Yes.
mind. And I grew up, you know what I was doing when you guys are playing and doing everything? I was dissecting lizards.
I knew it. I
knew that was coming. I knew that was
I
coming.
was dissecting lizard. My brothers would catch them, and I'm so sorry to the audience if they turned up.
Listen, all of my guy friends did that, and I am still to this day terrified of lizards. So kudos to you.
No, but I wouldn't. No, I don't play with them now. But I would dissect it. I was curious what the organs look like, what the structures inside them look like. I was fascinated about that. So I always wanted to know how to heal, how the body works, and things like that. So that was always my
perfect
calling.
profession.
Yeah, she's in the
This
right
is her
profession,
calling,
yes.
definitely.
She had that love from child.
Let me tell you, I'm not dissecting lizards. Anything else,
Poor
but not
geckos.
that. Listen, this has been a pleasure, and I must say, very informative.
I
So
feel-
I'm
you
running
know,
through my
Candy?
head now. Like she's thinking, I'm like, all right side. Let me tell you, as soon as I get a pain, I'm going to start this exam.
I may not have been a part of the medical school, but coming here for the medical weekly dose, I'm sure that at the end of the day, I feel like a doctor.
well, you were sounding like a triad specialist at the
I'm
top.
keeping my notes, right? So like my sister came to me last week and she was experiencing a pain. Hear me. Hold on, let me go get this note because I want to know if it's your appendix. She's just looking at me like.
You know what? Ultimately, this is what we want because we want our audience to be informed and to start thinking. And what I want to ensure that once a person has a conviction that something is wrong, they can follow up. If you're not convinced, because each individual has to be their own advocate when it comes to their health care. And if you're not happy, you can say, doctor, I need to be reevaluated again. I'm thinking something is really wrong. And you can insist in a pleasant way, of course, and you insist and you seek out your medical attention and ensure that you get your best care. So that's why we want our audience to be informed. So it's always awesome to be here.
It's definitely working. We got a lot of calls this morning.
Yes.
We really didn't even get to finish the presentation, right? But one thing I want them to take away from this is if you're experiencing any of this, visit your doctor.
Visit your doctor.
Like I always think that's your first step. Yes, we're here to educate you. Yes, I know you guys are listening. But if you have any of the symptoms that Dr. Osborne just described, visit your doctor.
And I think that's important, especially for us men, to visit the doctor,
Yes.
because sometimes we take the pain and we say, okay, then we're going to tough it out. But it's important to visit your physician, your doctor, to make sure that you are all well, or try to get back well.
Early diagnosis with almost anything leads to a better outcome, whether it has to be a surgical intervention, whatever it is. Early diagnosis always leads to a better
Because there's some persons, they fear the doctor because they don't want to know
what's wrong
with them. They're more comfortable knowing that something is wrong because they're feeling something is wrong rather than knowing exactly what is wrong with them.
You know, the first thing they go is like, I don't have money for that. Money for what? You don't know what's wrong. You know, go check. Just make sure that you're okay. Because it could be something as simple like I heard you say earlier today, you know, if it's a cyst, it's just like, usually they're benign.
Yes.
Right? So, but it could be that that's probably what's, like, I know especially women during menstruation, they get a lot of cysts. And then most of the times they pass them out. But go find out, for crying out loud, go to your doctor.
It's important.
Thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. It has been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you for having me.
It's time for us to take our break, acknowledge our sponsors, and get back with the Island Tea program.
Okay.
Awesome.
Found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
Do you want to improve the quality of your water? Is buying bottled water costing you a fortune? Say no to bottled water and yes to Tap Water Caribbean and Espo Water Solutions. We offer eco-friendly filtration products such as our Ultra Filter or our Bottle Pro for at home or on the go. Fill up anywhere. We also have a Shower Pro designed to protect and give you healthy skin. Visit us today at tapwatercaribbean.com or on Facebook and Instagram. Let's drink clean, pure, healthy water together. Remember, go green, save money, and save our planet.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Sardine have a new vibe. Brunswick Sardine have a new. Brunswick Sardine Filet. It have a new vibe. You hear what me say? Run go to your favorite supermarket or corner shop and grab a couple things today. Cause this a sitting where everybody a go like. Brunswick Sardine have a new vibe. 5 different flavors for you to try. Brunswick Sardine have a new vibe. Plus it boneless. Oh yes, that's right. Brunswick Sardine have a new vibe. Packed with nutrition in every bite. It tastes nice. Brunswick Sardine have a new vibe.
And it's we are back. It's actually 9:41, and we are back with Island Tea.
We had such a good morning this morning.
Such a good dose.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely was informative.
It was.
Let me tell you, I'm still in my head, right? Like ruling out symptoms because last week I was having pain in my stomach. I'm like, was it that? Let me see.
You know, I think it's important for us to check the doctor because you never know what's happening, and it's always important.
Yeah.
We had such a good morning. I mean, we've been talking about topics, and another topic that I see, the Prime Minister made an announcement last week in relation to Development Bank, where he said that new students now are going to 5% on the interest, and he indicated some other benefits.
The graduate financing you're referring to?
I am urging the Prime Minister and whoever makes the decision to also consider former students with existing loans.
Let me tell you, that's the first thing that came to mind.
Because I'm looking at it and I'm looking to see, okay, the new students check, that's good. But I'm thinking many of us still have the existing loans at 9%, which are like a burden on our backs.
It's 9%?
9%.
Oh my goodness.
And it erodes your opportunity to develop at a fast rate because you have to pay back so much. You know, you're paying back way more than you had. Sometimes you wonder if the principal is being
Because
touched.
it's on the add-on balance and not reducing.
I think it's reducing that development.
Okay.
I think so. I think from my experience, I'm just sharing my experience. I think now I'm actually seeing the money going to the principal after some years.
Finally.
The struggle is real.
Let me tell you.
So I am
Insane.
being an advocate for those like me who have existing loans. We want to see some sort of benefit as well.
You know, it's funny that you said that. So my parents have 5 kids, right? So when I was going to school, I had to sit and think about it. I was like, there are 4 others coming behind me. How do I get this, done? And that's one of the reasons I went to University of Guyana, because as you know, the currency rate is definitely lower there. So at the point in time when I was going to school, I think one EC was like 17 Guyana dollars, 770. And so it was cheaper for me to go there. So I didn't have a student loan, but I know how student loans are because my sisters, they're going through that whole student loan thing.
And
so
then
when
I
I
imagine
saw
you didn't have to pay rent and stuff.
actually I did because I lived in the dorm.
Still cheap.
But it was still the currency currency conversion was definitely lower. So that's one of the reasons I chose Guyana, and the law degree is still acceptable.
Yes.
But when I saw that, when I did my master's with pay as you go as well, right? But I did it with University of London, and that was a headache. But when I saw it, I was like, how far back are they going with this graduate thing, right? Because I got my master's in 2016. I was like,
Let me ask you a
am I
question.
still considered a graduate?
Do they have a UE campus, or is University of Guyana sort of like
So University of Guyana
affiliates?
is affiliated with the University of the West Indies.
Okay.
When Guyana decided to make the university nationalized, in a sense, the president or prime minister at that point in time, he wanted it to be, a national thing. So he pulled away from University of the West Indies, and the agreement was that they would second mark our papers, but we would still be accredited the same way that University of the West Indies is. So just like any other university student, I think Azard and I probably would have done same subjects, use the same textbooks and everything. But in order to get called, you have to go to Trinidad. So Guyanese students are zoned to Hugh Woodin in Trinidad, and Kittitian students are zoned to Norman Manley in Jamaica. So I'm now caught between that because Guyanese by birth, and my first law degree is from University of Guyana, but I live in St. Kitts. I'm resident here, so I'm kind of zoned.
For some reason, I always seem like those at Hugh Wooding had more fun than us at Norman Manley. For some reason.
In Trinidad?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
they always seem to be having some sort of party or something.
Let me tell you. But it's I like the concept. I just think that, like you said, it maybe needs a bit more tweaking, because for me, I was like, okay, I need more details. When do you say graduate? How far back are you going with
in
graduate?
the presentation, and I listened to it over and over, it said new students. I even posted a comment agreeing with someone on Development Bank's Facebook page, and I don't normally go on Facebook to make comments on other pages, but I thought it's something that is necessary because...
Well, it relates to you.
Yeah, and I know a lot of persons are in my situation as well. Some of us kid and say, these student loans are like mortgages. They hold you down, and you don't even have a house yet.
And like you say, you're right. It takes a longer time for you to break out and develop, because how can you build when you're still paying a student loan? How can you even get a decent car when you're still paying a student loan?
And it's not that you don't pay back for what you take, but the interest rate for education, 9%, the interest rate is what it is, It's not that you because I am, you take the money, so of course you pay back. But at 9%.
But, this
that's
is
a
why,
bit steep.
This is why I say,
In fact, Jam, so even before you got there, when I purchased my vehicle and went to the bank, I looked for, and the interest rate was like, I think maybe 5.5, 6%. Imagine.
Yes.
For a vehicle.
And why can't, as far as I'm concerned, the interest rate for a student loan should be less than that.
Yeah.
I know.
Right? Because, and this is one of the things like I was saying about, when they did the $500 thing, when was it, December? Or whenever?
The CBI thing, you mean?
I felt like that kind of outlay was better spent on things like that.
Yeah.
Making the student loan, say, interest rates lower, starting a sovereign fund, that kind of thing.
These are things that are needed because, again, it's a hamper. It reduces your productivity in the terms of going forward. So you accomplish things a lot later because of the financial resources that are available to you.
But what if you come back and you can't get a decent job and you still have this loan hanging over your head?
Exactly. And then there's that.
Oh, God.
Then there's that.
That's the
on top of
situation.
everything else.
Because not all of us come from wealthy families where, you have
And
the
then
opportunity.
I remember I talked about, I went where to study. I remember, I even remember Development Bank. I remember I went and they were like, they had no idea what it was I wanted to study.
Oh,
so
wow.
I had to go find some big shot to endorse it because
of course.
And
education is expensive, generally speaking, especially if you're not gonna do it here. Because even if you get a scholarship, you still gotta pay for housing, you still gotta eat, you still have to pay for transportation. Maybe where you're living is not close to the school. Textbooks, textbooks are
the thing about it. Let me tell you, studying in the Caribbean is a lot cheaper or affordable than going to the US and the UK. So I could imagine if you have to study, or if you choose to study in the US and UK, how much you are spending.
But I always think though that I always feel like there is more that's beneficial to the student going on outside the classroom culturally than you'll ever get in the Caribbean. So I'm actually more of an advocate for studying outside the Caribbean.
I'm neither here nor there with that because Azard left St. Kitts, went to Barbados. Completely different culture. Yes, it's still in the Caribbean.
You did Barbados as well?
Right.
Yeah, I went to Barbados.
And then he went to Jamaica. So, you can still see some cultural differences there.
I once thought about what Jamsa said because when I must say, a lot of my decisions perhaps weren't decisions that I made. Some people say based on childhood, they always wanted to go this, they always wanted to go. I must say with you, it wasn't in my consideration at first when I was thinking about schools, because I wanted to, in my mind, experience something other than the Caribbean. And then when I went to UE, it was a total mind shift.
Exactly.
I love my experience. It's I don't think I would trade it.
Let me tell you, when I wanted to go to school, so I was one of like those preppy kids. So I was like, I want to go to the US, and I actually did SATs. I got accepted to different schools, and I was like, I'm gonna join a sorority. The whole preppy lifestyle, right? And then my parents were just like,
sororities at the
law school has law society and different organizations.
At UE, we have the Guild of Students. We also have halls. So I think that would replace maybe the sororities. Because then you have halls of residence.
Right.
Okay.
My parents broke it down. They were like, this is the cost to go to University of Guyana. This is the cost to go to the US, right? And because I was Guyanese by birth, it kind of was easier for me to go there.
Yes.
And, my parents had a house, my grandparents had a house, so I could use like a local address.
You guys want to take a call?
So
sure.
It made it a little bit cheaper.
Boy, we're actually not talking politics and the phones are going crazy.
Caller, you're live on.
Hi, caller, go right ahead.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Good morning, fellas.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Quite interesting, Some people have a tendency to think that having a further education entitles you to employment. It doesn't give you an entitlement. It just makes you marketable.
Yes.
And much easier to be employed.
Yes.
But also having a further education, a higher level of education, make it easier for you to be creative enough to create employment for yourself.
Yes.
The other thing is that don't wait until you find a big break. Take whatever job you can get because you know your ability. You know your aim. Don't sit down and say, oh man, I came from university, I expect a job, I'm supposed to be working, and look where I am up to now, I can't get a job. No. Take the job you could get.
Yes.
Keep yourself busy and active because eventually, in the organization of which you work, most likely you might be a setting, a store, supermarket, somebody somewhere going to find and see your potential and see you have the ability to move, and you could move up the ladder. While you're there in that small job, send out an application for another job, another position. Let your seniors know what you have and what you're capable of doing.
Correct.
Because some people, a lot of people went to university and come back and they cannot chop a stroke. They don't know the foot from the hand from the elbow, and they have to start learning. And so working in a workplace, they might not have worked no place before. They might have summer job and so on. And so they might have done some, but not to what they have trained to do. And so sometimes if you're trained to do something, you might have to change to cope with the situation and the position you're in to get to where you want to go. So making excuses and say, I can't find a job and I can't do this, no. There's no room for excuses, because today, when you wake up this morning, you wake up with an empty page. Whatever is written on the page is determined by you. And this day is not coming back. And whatever you don't do for this day does not happen for you. It might happen for somebody else, but it don't happen for you. Thank you very much. The conversation is great.
Thank
as
you.
Always, education is good.
Thank you.
Thank
Don't
you
be
so
shy.
much.
Nobody knows you. Go right ahead and talk.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your call.
I like the good.
He's right. He's right.
Yeah.
You're not entitled to anything because you have that degree.
Exactly.
You need to get up and get.
At least you got opportunity. You got the opportunity, but the outcome doesn't have to be the.
Right.
The outcome is what you make it.
And the thing about it, I like what he said in terms of if there's an opportunity, it might not be your dream, but go for it. You know, at least you're making something, and then you try to push yourself for when the opportunity arises.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I when I came back from studying, I did not get a job immediately. I was finally able to get a job at a reputable law firm, and then I left to go off and study again, and that didn't work out. When I came back, I couldn't get a job, and I already had my first law degree. I ended up working as someone's personal assistant. I didn't care. I just wanted a job.
All work is honorable.
Exactly. But within 6 months, I had been promoted at least 2 or 3 times in the company. And that's how I moved up the line.
Yeah,
Because they saw my potential. So he's spot on.
Sometimes you just need to get that
Just
foot
get
in.
your foot in.
That's it. And then you just outshine, outperform all your tasks.
Thank you.
I actually got a whole bunch of likes on Twitter for a comment I made about we're talking about the culture, the toxic employer culture in the US where they don't want to pay people livable wages. So I did a comment where I said things like all work is honorable, and what was the other one I said? I forgot what the other one was. Ring hollow when you have employers who really don't want to pay you.
Yeah.
Because and then I went on to say that studies have always shown, as you guys probably know, study after study have shown that when you pay people properly, the morale is higher, and you get more productivity.
It is.
It is. But these young persons now, and I say young persons because I feel like it's not the millennials, it's this other generation. They're doing something called passively quitting, right? So it's like every day they do
quiet
quitting, right? So every day they do a little less and they do a little less. So eventually they're not doing anything at all.
And you hear all these great stories on Twitter where a guy was talking about how he's working, like he might come maybe 5 minutes late, but then he was always working past the time, and his boss got down on him. And what he started to do? He said 1 minute past the time, he just pack up and go home. And then the guy called him and he said, well, you're busting my balls for coming 5 minutes late. Well, it's past.
You don't see the time I put in when I go 2 hours after.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, let me ask you guys. I don't know if you guys, in terms of the campus in Antigua, you guys know what's
I think it's the 5 campus.
Yes, it's UE5. I think they're calling it.
So based on my understanding, it's an extra campus. Just like you have a campus in Barbados, you have a campus in Jamaica, you have a campus in Jamaica. That is now the campus.
The OECS campus.
Yeah, right. I actually have a friend that teaches there. He teaches economics, Kevin Hope.
Okay.
It's like you said, it's one of the a new campus that they released. I think they're calling it the UE5. And I've seen a couple.
5 because you have the open campus as well. So you have the open campus, the Antigua campus, the Barbados campus, Jamaica, and Trinidad. So I think that's why they call it the UE5.
The Antiguans outfoxed us again, huh?
Yeah.
Because you
is it that they did, or we left the door open? Because we've had open campus
I must say
for quite a bit.
When the conversation was going on, Gaston Brown, their prime minister, was really pushing for it. At one point in time, when I was listening to the conversation, I was like, is UWIG really going to put a campus on Antigua and Barbuda?
Ta-da.
And look at that. I must say something about him. He's very determined. He has some qualities, some unfavorable qualities, I find.
Everybody does. I mean, you're not gonna like everybody totally.
One of his qualities that I find favorable is that he's determined. He meant that's going to
right. He's very determined. He pushes to build up his country.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's what everybody is basically pushing for, but everybody just takes a different approach.
You guys know that
because we've had open campus here for a long time.
I was told that back in the day that when they were when the proposal for the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, Antigua was pushing hard to have the central bank headquarters, but we happened to get it.
Yeah. Right.
So there's always, and Liat, same thing. So there's always been this rivalry between us. So
yes,
it was interesting to see when I heard.
Remember when we got the, I think 1 million cruise passenger?
Yeah.
And they were saying that next time they're going to beat St. Kitts and Nevis.
Listen, I have one to beat all of that. Let me tell you the one that always gets to me. The 365 beaches. Because when you see some of the things that they're calling beaches, right? I'm like, that is not a beach. That's the same beach from down there. It's not a new beach.
10 feet, right? a 10-foot crescent. That's a beach.
But hey, to each his own. If that's their selling point, that's their selling point. But it always cracks me up because I'm like, that's the same beach I'm on over there. Can't be a different beach. The strip is not even complete, right?
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
Hey.
Yes.
But yes, they do have a campus there, and it seems to be up and fully functional and running. So
I would think that there are some disciplines that aren't yet available at the campus.
I know at one time, before we close, I know at one time that the UWI Tourism Studies campus was the Bahamas. I don't even know if that's going on still. Because I remember, you remember something like that, right?
Happening.
Yes.
With the
I actually was happy with that because I feel like everybody just thinks, and I myself, I've been somebody pushing for us to make it more than sand and sea.
I think what happened is that because I had a friend who did the program. I might stand corrected, but I think you start in Barbados and then you go off to Bahamas to do something.
The practical,
like a finishing.
Yeah, I think it was something like that arrangement because I'm not sure that Bahamas has a full-fledged campus. I think what they have is an open campus as well here, like we have in St. Kitts and Nevis.
But in relation to those studies, because
in that study, I think it was. I think it was
somebody.
So you're a K-Phil student, but then you have certain semesters. I think you do in Bahamas.
In Bahamas, yeah.
I think
I remember
it's like that.
somebody who.
But do we know if it's still functional?
That's
Because
what
I think the
wondering.
tourism and hospitality sector is perfect for this region. That is our mainstay, right? And we need to find different ways of pushing it. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with Honorable Samal Duggins about that. There's a project that I want to push where I'm linking the two because, I do destination weddings as well. But I just feel like we short sell ourselves. Like Antigua has 365 beaches, quote unquote, right? We need to put ourselves more out there. So I'm really hoping that tourism campus is still, or the sector, whatever it was, is still a thing that's happening because we have so much potential. If each island would embrace their niche, their specialty, everybody can, be out there and be unique.
Speaking about tourism marketing, I always have comes back to one of my big grosses with the way we run our countries. St. Kitts and Nevis should not be having separate tourism marketing budgets. That makes no sense. The country is too small.
I know.
And then you could even go as far as say, why aren't the OECS, why aren't we paying for? There must be a creative way of pooling our resources, but still promoting each one.
It goes back to our constitution and providing the entity of St. Kitts and Nevis and the entity of Nevis. I mean, Nevis is given
two separate tourism authorities. That
Nevis
makes no
is
sense
given
to me.
certain latitude, and I always say that there is no entity based on our constitution that is St. Kitts.
But do you know there's Ministry of Tourism and then Tourism Authority?
Yeah. Well, I was wondering.
Yeah,
that always confuses me.
Because you have a director of, was it? The
Yes,
director
you
of
have.
the Tourism
Right.
Authority,
And
then
then
you
the
still have
Minister of
PS,
Tourism.
And you have,
Yes.
Yeah, that one kind of always hits me for 6. So.
But
hey,
I mean, it is what it is. Until it isn't.
Curveball.
Yes.
But yeah.
Tomorrow, I want to make a special plug because we're going to have a very special guest here tomorrow from 9 to 10. It is our first Prime Minister and our only living national hero, Sir Kennedy Simmons.
Nice.
According to Candy, we have another living national hero, which I agree with. But so in that sense, you're technically wrong.
He's getting me in trouble for no reason.
I know you're joking.
Collins.
Yes, I know he was talking about Kim based on our conversation earlier. So, and I must say, tomorrow is Sir Kennedy's birthday. And if I don't say it,
oh boy, here we go, April born.
He's another April born.
We could have finished that sentence for you. I knew where this was going.
So all the April birth out there.
So it Aries?
He's an Aries, yeah.
Okay.
So he didn't make it over.
You're not Aries. Let me just put that out there.
But I still claim
you realize how he spells it, right? He doesn't say Aries or Taurus. He says April born.
Yes.
So he could, squeeze in. You barely made it.
He's a April born. And so tomorrow he celebrates his birthday, his 87th birthday. Yeah.
87.
Yeah.
Wow. He was in his 70s still.
I mean, he's been going, and you know what I think is significant? When I think about the Treaty of Bastille and the signing of the Treaty of Bastille in 1981, I think Sir Kennedy is perhaps the only living person who signed that, because he would have been prime minister at the time and he would have been signing up the prime ministers or perhaps their foreign ministers.
Now you're making me think. So I'm going to go look that up now.
I think he's the only one left. So it's significant, and I think that is a great opportunity to speak with such a legend tomorrow.
I am excited.
He was pretty young when he became premier and prime minister. He was like low 40s, I think.
Yeah. 40s, yeah. 40s young Candy.
I know that more than anyone else.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to have a very interesting conversation with Sir Kennedy Alphonse Simmons.
Awesome. So tune in, guys. And someone is actually on the YouTube chat saying that students from St. Kitts go to Bahamas for the hospitality sector.
Yes.
So perfect. So it's still in existence and functioning.
Okay. So I was right with that.
Thank you so much for that.
Okay.
All right then, guys. We have overstayed our welcome. Island tea is over.
6 minutes over.
Yeah, we
no
switching to our with Jamster in the spin.
No spin cycle today.
No spin cycle today, Jamster?
No.
Okay.
You realize what he did with spin cycle last week, right?
What?
Took over the whole Shensia thing, all of that. Now this week.
Yeah.
No. Well, not today. Today isn't possible. So,
awesome.
But it'll be back tomorrow for sure. So, folks, no spin cycle today. Give you guys some time to unwind from the extra long weekend.
Yeah.
Which I'm very grateful for, even though I worked every day. I'm pretty sure.
As long as it's work that you enjoy, that you don't consider work.
Yes.
It's great when you have work that you don't consider work.
Listen, it was really nice. We did a balloon installation. We did a photo area. I did a photo shoot decor. I work with Caribbean Soul Media. These are the people that are having the play. Yes. I actually asked her to get me some tickets so we could do some giveaways for Omi Handbag. Good morning, Tasha. So we did a little photo shoot setup for her on Saturday. So it was very.
Where is it? The play is going to be at Central?
The play is going to be at the Marriott.
At the Marriott,
and it's
okay.
$100 for the tickets.
Okay.
And she told me specifically to ensure that Azard comes. So, and
Oh,
she's
me
actually
handbag.
she's actually listening because she messaged and she was saying that in Trinidad it was always a party. When she was in school, but when they were in school, and education is free for Trinidadian students,
And
but
Tasha,
she didn't have that luxury.
Tasha, I'll have your thing before the end of the week. Don't worry.
So I'm gonna bring both Jamsta and Azard if I can to the play, Tasha.
Oh, me handbag.
But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, even though I worked, it was I love to see my creations come to life. So like I always do, like a before picture, like it's a blank slate, and then I zhuzh it up. So add that sparkle, events extraordinaire.
I was saying on the weekend, I really need. I've done so many things in the last maybe 3 weeks that were Instagram ready.
Yes.
And I was like, I really need to start doing that because I started getting a family data plan. So we both have data.
So you're gonna post it?
No, so I was saying I really should have done, like when I did that party for Josh, the Super Bowl kid. I was like, I should.
You didn't take pictures and videos.
It's something I have to force myself to do. I'm very low key
You
like
have to
that.
capture the moment, Jamster.
People are usually the ones who take the pictures.
So let me tell you, in this new era, I have had
Let's
to get
school
a TikTok, a Twitter,
I got a jersey
an
and everything. You would
Instagram,
have thought, right?
a Facebook, a Pinterest. I have all of those for all of my companies because I have 2 companies.
I'm going
Oh,
to
you have a
ask. I'm
Pinterest
going
too?
to ask.
Yes.
I'm going to
Pinterest
ask.
seems like a girly site though.
No.
What is the Twitch?
Twitch?
I saw Richard mention that.
Yeah. What's Twitch? They said
Twitch. Oh, Twitch is it's a gaming site that Amazon owns. The idea being people who hardcore gamers, they can basically they can stream themselves playing games with other people online, and then they also offer. So because of the fact that they do streaming, DJs, like a lot of DJs were. I actually have a Twitch account too, but I haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
But a lot of DJs were going on there during COVID, and doing sets for people to listen and stuff.
No
and they're a little more forgiving with the copyright thing than Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, Facebook
Twitch,
really makes it.
There's quite a bit out there, and I feel like everyone has their use. So for like my corporate company, I just have Facebook and Twitter because it's more wordy.
Yeah.
But with my events company, I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have Pinterest because people will go and follow my boards.
Yes.
There's WhatsApp because WhatsApp has WhatsApp Business where you can put your catalog because I rent stuff as well. So you have to put yourself out there because let me tell you, people will go to the WhatsApp, see exactly what they want from the catalog that's listed there, and then message me and say, "Can I rent this for this date?" Da, da, da.
You have to show me what the WhatsApp catalog looks like because I've never seen that. I know you have WhatsApp business accounts, but I didn't know they had
they allow
catalog.
you to add a catalog at the back so that when persons go to the number, like the WhatsApp chat.
You have to pay for that, though, right?
No, it's the same WhatsApp, but it's WhatsApp for business.
Okay, because
so you can list your stuff. So for instance, like I rent, event equipment. So you can go on, you can see sequin backdrops.
So you have
can
lecterns
see
and stuff like that?
Yeah,
cool.
You can see all that I have for rent on that catalog.
Okay.
So we got to get you up to scratch. My sister has me making reels. Like if you go to my Instagram for my events company, E Extraordinaire, you'll see all the reels that we've made. And reels do really better than actual hardcore posts.
Okay. You have a TikTok account too?
I do.
You do?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm getting them from all angles.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're gonna get you sorted.
So guys,
So
been
10,
wonderful.
11. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's time for us to get out of here. And
Have to now go into my office and get some other work done.
Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
All right.
Tune in tomorrow. We have our Living National Hero in tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I should have worn this color tomorrow.
We could wear another suit. We could wear another yellow suit again tomorrow too.
As soon as I came in, he was like, "Candy, I love your color." I'm like, "You just biased." But tune in tomorrow, guys, and thank you for joining us today on Island Tea.
Ditto.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye bye.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
Hey kids, drink coffee.
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of